Hello everybody and welcome to Wise Warrior's Path 2. So here we're going to be looking at the Spanish sword and buckler. And right here is actually a Spanish pikeman of the army at Flanders. And right here's the kind of gear that the sword and bucklers would have used. And that pikeman as well would have fought alongside these sword and bucklers for a good time. And right here is a good replica of a sword and buckler. Very good sword. Oldish arming sword. Right here is artwork of different types of Spanish infantry going to battle. Here's an early type of sword and buckler for the Spanish. Now here's a later style sword and buckler. Right there you can see how the swords were moderated. Now right here I'm just doing a little bit of reenactment. And everything is sort of accurate except for the pants. And this probably would have been an earlier sword and buckler in the Spanish Empire. Probably just at the end of the Reconquista, or during the end of the Reconquista. The Morion helmet is, of course, a helmet that was moderated over time, but would have been seen in the earlier periods, maybe of this style like this. Now, here you're going to see the kind of gear that I'm going to be using. I'm going to be showing it a couple of times. And typical of that time is a good helmet, good chainmail armor, gambeson, good padded stuff under, and a cloak or tunic over. And right here you see that they got the gorget, coming into the later 1400s to the 1500s. And right here taking off the helmet, still using chainmail over leather. So it has moderate protection, good shock absorbing. And the buckler provides very good protection. And right here I'm using an arming sword, would have been a little bit of an earlier period. And right here just a little demonstration of what it looks like. Just wielding the sword using the buckler. Now of course my pants are not historically accurate. That's just what I'm wearing. But the top of what I'm using, the armor that I have on the top, everything from the waist up, is moderately accurate. This would have been a more lighter infantry. The chainmail would have offered very good protection, but not very good against maces and axes. Certain kind of hits. Unless you had very good protection under, but that as well limits your mobility. Plate armor would have been the best. But still, the agility that these soldiers would have had, they wouldn't have been too heavy, so they would have been able to do a lot of damage and would have been agile enough to get out of a lot of trouble. And the gear is armored enough to take a lot of the blows. So as you train with this gear, you learn how to take blows and you learn how to avoid them. You just learn how to work with what you have. So just because you have more armor doesn't make you a better soldier. It just means that you have a different role. Or as well different capabilities, but as well you have things that are limited more than a lighter infantry has. Now you can see right there that helmet. It can deflect all sorts of blows. Pikemen would have loved to use that helmet, as you saw in the picture in the beginning for the pikemen of Flanders. Because the sword gets trapped at the bottom. That cone shape helps deflect a lot of blows, as well a lot of projectiles. And right there you can see that it helps. So when a sword comes from the top, it's very easily deflected, and with the buckler, you're very invulnerable. I would have seen swords like the arming swords still would have been used by a lot of armies, a lot of soldiers, even well into the 15 to 1600s, because of how good the sword is. But by then, the side sword and the rapiers or the roperos, the battle roperos, and different kinds of swords of the later Renaissance would have replaced the arming sword. But the arming sword would have seen its strength from 1000 AD to 1500 AD, and a little bit before and a little bit after with different versions. The combo of the sword and buckler is excellent, especially with the arming sword. Now of course the Spanish wouldn't have always used the buckler. This is just an example due to the name that they use in modern days. They would have used a round shield that would have been just a little larger, between 20 and 25 inches, roughly. And it would have been slung over the shoulder, over the arm, rather than just a buckler that you hold by a handle. Now right here I dropped the buckler, and I simply just used the sword. And you can see the agility of the man. But still, the chainmail, the gear, is sort of heavy, so it does limit your blows. But it doesn't mean that that's the only limitation you have. Once you train, you can get over those limitations, but there's other limitations that hold you back, as opposed to a person that's wearing no armor. But then again, you're going to enjoy the benefit of the armor when you start getting into battle. You can see right there the agility of the man and the protection that he has. And when he has his shield out like that, it provides a good cone area of defense. So meaning the more extended he has his shield out, and the better he is using it, the harder it is to get the man behind the shield. Now right here we're going to be showing you a little bit of what it looks like when you spar with modern gear. We are very light, we don't have to worry about very heavy armor. All this stuff is modern sports gear that has been put together by me over the years. And here's my friend JR and me, and we're just sparring back and forth. We had a day at the park. He decided to bring his daughter, so she is watching right now, kind of cheering on her dad. And you can see right there that that is a cold steel hand and a half sword versus a regular cold steel training waster sword with a buckler. And you can see how much defense the buckler provides, or at least the sword and the shield, the arming sword, and basically the stuff that I had in the beginning, as you saw in my first film. This is the same stuff, but it's in a training sword rather than a metal sword, which is also a training sword, and I could use it in this situation, but I just have more of these swords, so that's why I'm using these swords. And they're also more safer. Now, my opponent is very good with the hand and a half sword, but I'm still outmaneuvering him, and I'm still getting my shots in and getting enough protection. At times it looks like he's actually getting me, but in reality I'm managing to parry and block very well, especially because of that buckler. So that means that I have two defenses. I have the defense of my sword, which provides all the defense of a person without a buckler using a sword, and as well the buckler in the other hand. So it provides two things to work with. But still, the hand and a half sword gets a lot of blows in, but usually not enough to be kill shots, because they're slashing shots. A lot of my shots are stab shots. But right here you can see my opponent does a number on me, because we're just playing around, going back and forth. And he's as well very good at this. But continuing, you can see right there that I can get a blow on his leg. He gets sort of a blow on my leg. I manage to cut his throat. And even if he tries to hit me, I block with the buckler. And I continue to move in. And I use my shield, and I go in for the attack. Now, of course, at that moment I didn't, but that's usually what happens, and you can see throughout this particular footage how that's happening.
Good job. Good job, good job.
So now right here we both got the same swords, arming swords and bucklers. He's got a smaller buckler and I got a bigger buckler. And you can see the variety of ways that you can use the buckler. He decided to use it like that, which is a little unorthodox, but still a method. And you can see how you can use elbows, you can use your pommel, you can use your buckler to strike. You can grapple a little bit more and you can drop the buckler quickly as opposed to a shield that is slung over your hand. See right there how it works. It's very simple, but it's very effective. But you saw right there that I basically cut his ribs open. He would have had no armor. And he would have been a little bit too late with the shot, and my helmet would have absorbed most of the blow. And you can see right there the kind of moves that you can make, trapping the sword, as well as blocking. I don't know if that was really significant, but still it was a clash. So as we end this footage here, I hope that I was able to show you an idea of what the sword and buckler is like, the Spanish sword and buckler. And right here, the style that we're using is trying to mimic, is trying to take after the Spanish sword and buckler. And as well, many other cultures would have used the sword and buckler, not just the Spanish. But the Spanish would have been very specific with it. They would have moderated it and turned it into a very well-known unit in their army. And as well, it was phased out to gunpowder and advanced tactics of cavalry. And that's why the pikemen, as I showed you in the beginning of the picture there, played an important role in these times. As they fought alongside the sword and buckler, they eventually replaced it. So for Wise Warrior's Path, thank you for watching. So please leave your feedback below, subscribe, as this channel is growing, and I hope to hear from you and also see videos from you, see what you're working on as we try to improve the way that we learn about our history and as well have fun while we're doing it. Till next time, take care and goodbye.